we've got a bunch of big Nintendo Switch and RPG news to go over. So let's go ahead and first jump right in with the Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. We've got full details on this remake that is coming, and man, you guys are going to be happy about this one. So, Trails in the Sky, first chapter, formerly known as The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the first, will launch officially for the PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam as a simultaneous worldwide release in fall 2025. Developer Nihon Falcom announced it will be published by Gung Ho Online Entertainment in the West with English and Japanese voiceovers and English, Japanese, French, and German subtitles. It is a full remake of the original story RPG, Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Now, there's a couple big things to note with this, because what we're usually used to with Nihon Falcom and their games is one, Nippon Ichi handling the distribution in the West, and it usually being a game that comes out months after or a year after the original Japanese release. But with this one, they've moved over to Gung Ho Online handling distribution in the West, and it's a simultaneous worldwide launch. I think that might be one of the first that they do that for a big remake or re-release or Falcom game just in general. It usually takes quite some time. They've also dropped the Legend of Heroes tag beforehand and just put Trails in the Sky. And I like the fact that it says first chapter instead of just the first. First chapter makes it very clear, play this one first. It's the first chapter, and you don't need the Legend of Heroes before it, just Trails in the Sky. Fans have been referring to just Trails in the Sky as that for a long time, like a decade now. So this all makes a lot of sense, and it's very good to see this. And I think that this, now that we have confirmation of PlayStation 5 and PC, in addition to the Nintendo Switch, they showed us an updated build of the gameplay. We've got brand new screenshots. This is going to probably be the best selling Legend of Heroes game of all time. I think this has a very good chance to truly break open into the West for real when it comes down to it. So I love what they're doing here. So in North America, Gung Ho Online Entertainment will sell a standard physical edition of Trails in the Sky first chapter via Amazon for $59.99. Collector's editions will be made by Limited Run Games, which, you know, some people feel certain ways about them, but hey, it's better than nothing, I guess, which will be announced at a later date. Will also be available. In Europe, Clear River Games will distribute the standard physical edition for $59.99. Let's talk about the remake a little bit more. This is an unforgettable journey. Trails is a story RPG series that celebrated its 20th anniversary in 2024. To mark the significant milestone, the first entry in the series, The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, is being fully remade. Liberal Kingdom, the setting of the story, has been fully recreated in 3D, and all the distinctive characters, including Estelle and Joshua, have been refined. In addition to exhilarating and stress-free combat, which allows seamless switching between the two battle modes, field action and command battle, each character's crafts and arts are on a dynamic display. While maintaining the scenic image of the kingdom, the game includes a variety of quests and numerous side activities that will allow players to fully experience the feelings of traveling across the kingdom from their own perspective. After their father, Cassius, goes missing, Estelle and Joshua embark off on a journey across the kingdom. Along the way, they will meet and part with new companions. What awaits them at the end of their journey? A classic reborn for everyone to enjoy. So this is incredibly good when it comes to the English dub, in addition to a worldwide simultaneous release. These are two things that Falcom has gotten criticism for, not having full English dubs in some of their games, in addition to having to wait. The Westerners have to wait so much longer after the game comes out in Japan. But now we have a simultaneous worldwide release, and we also have an English dub as well. Like I said before, I think that this could be the best selling game in the franchise by a good margin, because they've made a lot of good calls with this. Plus, it looks beautiful. The fact that it's coming to PlayStation 5 and coming to PC, people are going to be able to play it probably in higher frame rates and resolutions. And I'll probably say this as well. this will be a Nintendo Switch 2 game. This is coming out fall 2025. I absolutely feel that Falcom is going to say, oh, there's a Switch 2 version. As soon as Nintendo actually announces the Nintendo Switch 2, there will be a version of this game on that system. Of course, you can play it backwards compatible. We don't know how Nintendo's going to handle the upgrade path and all of that, but I absolutely feel that, and it makes me feel that because of the game that we're going to talk about next as well, because that one wasn't announced for any platform, so I already have an idea what's going on there. But yes, I fully believe that Trails in the Sky first chapter will be coming over to Nintendo Switch 2, and of course backwards compatible, and maybe there is an upgrade path, free upgrade type of thing that you're going to be able to do with this game, which once again, there's a game that Falcom is handling that makes me think that's going to be the case. Now, let's move on to that said game, because it's really weird. Like, Falcom just pulled a super Atlas, like a crazy Atlas here, something that Atlas probably wouldn't even do in terms of how quickly the turnaround was, at least from the Western release. So X Proud Nordics announced this is a significantly upgraded version of X Nordics, and it's due out in 2025 in Japan. Now, yes, X Nordics came out, I think, last year, so 2023 in Japan, but it just came out in 2024 here in the West, and there's already an upgraded, a royal version, or a golden, or whatever the case is. So I want to get into this, but there's some very interesting details that people are not talking about overall with this, and I want to get into it right here. So Falcom has announced X Proud Nordics, a significantly upgraded version of X Nordics featuring a new story, new setting, and numerous new elements. It will launch in 2025 in Japan. Platforms were not announced. So if you're looking at it from a Japanese gaming perspective, it's fine because it's been 2 years since the original base game. But if you're talking about here in the West, it's like, well, wait a minute, hold up, this just came out. Now, here's the big thing here at the end of the day. The big thing is platforms were not announced. Why were platforms not announced? The game is PlayStation 5. The game is Nintendo Switch. It's PC. We know the platforms for this game. Oh, the platforms were probably not announced because this is also going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 game or have some type of upgrade path as well. I think that they're going to be doing something for this game overall because it literally just did launch here in the West. I fully believe, once again, that this will be a Nintendo Switch 2 game as well, since platforms were not announced at this point, or they're definitely going to be doing something here. Something is happening with this. Falcom is definitely going through a number of changes. I think that there's some internal stuff that they're working on. They've moved over to actually having the Nintendo Switch be sometimes the main development when it comes down to it. Trails in the Sky first chapter is one of those games, and I think that X Nordics was one of those games as well. So there's absolutely something happening here. Maybe even a potential, hey, this is going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 game starting off at first, and of course it's going to be on other platforms too. Like, I don't think it's just going to be Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo Switch, but I do feel that, yeah, there's absolutely something going on here, and X Nordics is a fantastic game. I've played quite a bit of it, and I had to basically stop just because there were so many other games for my top 10 to go over, my top 25 list that I got to go over as well, but I actually really like it. I think it's a very fun game. While it doesn't have the best graphics, I think that the combat, the story, the gameplay is great, and now they're going to be upgrading it as well. But yeah, I can understand why there's definitely giving pause to some people here in the West because of what's happening, but I do feel that there is more to this story that they are not talking about, because it's weird to announce this new version and not announce platforms at all. So we'll definitely see what happens overall with that. Now let's go ahead and jump into the next big topic here, but next up, I briefly want to go over a bit of an update when it comes to Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. A lot of you guys have been tracking this game. I've been tracking it to see how it's doing, and of course, it's pretty disproportionate when it comes to the popularity of a game like Dragon Quest, but in Japan, it's absolutely tearing it up. We now have official confirmation that the game has sold over 1 million physical units in Japan. It sold another 50,000 units plus for the past week with the Famitsu sales. So this game's sales are going to continue going up, which I think that's going to inspire Square Enix to release more Dragon Quest remakes, more Dragon Quest re-releases, because there are a number of Dragon Quest older games that can't be played normally on newer platforms. And I think that Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake sales at the $60 price tag shows that these games are well worth it in order to keep bringing over another 54,924 units sold on the Nintendo Switch version of the game in Japan. That's a total of 856,583 units. You combine that with the PlayStation 5 version of the game in Japan by itself, 1 million physical units, not including digital sales, were for all of November, and even up until this point, Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake is the top selling digital game on the Nintendo Switch in Japan, in addition to PlayStation. So I expect to see more Dragon Quest remakes, re-releases in the future. We know that Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake is coming over as well, early 2025, and that's going to be really good. So I'm very excited for the future of Dragon Quest as they continue to rack up these sales here and probably get more Dragon Quest games, especially the ones from maybe the Nintendo 3DS, re-released in the future. I also just want to give a little follow-up when it comes to the sales discussion that we had recently with the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 2 here in the US. The Nintendo Switch passed up the PlayStation 2 as the second best selling video game device of all time, right behind the Nintendo DS. And in Japan, the system sold another 99,000 units, and to be exact, 99,382, and it's already the best selling system of all time in Japan. Those sales heading into the holiday, pretty good overall for a system in its 7th/8th year on the market. So it's continuing to sell, but I do feel that Nintendo is definitely going to be showing us something interesting when it comes to what their plans are for the future, probably next month in January or February. But these sales definitely strong heading into the holiday period, where I think it's actually selling better from 2023 to 2024 in Japan. At least it's actually doing better than it did in 2023. But we are going to go over one more game, and this is a game that I have not talked about on this channel at all, but it's on my radar now because it looks like we've got like a Temu Noctis, or is it Temu Noctis? No, I'm joking. Wish Noctis? No, I'm joking with that as well. Dollar Store Noctis? No, I'm joking. Okay, no more jokes about this. Okay, Lost Soul Aside launches in 2025. We got a new gameplay trailer, and this dude does look like Noctis though. I mean, or he has like the same setup. It kind of feels the same as him. So embark on an odyssey to save your sister and humankind. Action RPG Lost Soul Aside will launch for the PlayStation 5 and PC via Steam in 2025. Worldwide publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment and developer Ulti Zero Games announced. PlayStation Store wishlisting is also available. Here's a little bit of an overview on the game, because this game is a long time coming, like 8 years in development, something crazy, but it looks good. A little stiff, but it looks good. Embark on an epic odyssey to save your sister and the whole of humankind from dimensional invaders in Lost Soul Aside, a stylish single-player action-adventure RPG. Chain lightning-fast combos, learn new abilities, and upgrade your weapons as you take on formidable enemies and colossal bosses in fast, dynamic combat. And yeah, looking at this gameplay trailer, it looks fast, it looks frantic, it looks like a lot of fun. It reminds me of Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry, kind of all combined in it together with some of the teleporting and flashy types of attacks, and the graphics look really good, and the art and the atmosphere. Like, this game looks really cool, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing so far. I've seen it before, but I wanted to wait till we got some more solid information on when it's coming out and everything and what's going to be happening with the game. But yeah, so far, gameplay looks awesome. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it could be like a Stellar Blade type of quality game or so. So I definitely see this game doing well enough, at least with the core audience, and I'm going to be picking it up if it's like not broken. Like, if there isn't a ton of bad things with it at launch, I'll definitely try it out, because I really enjoyed, or I've enjoyed some of the games that Sony has stepped in, like Stellar Blade and some of those titles out there. What do you guys think overall about all the different RPG Nintendo Switch news that we went over? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch RPG videos and more right here on screen. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.